In this video, I am going to show you how to make your own AI startup with zero artificial intelligence knowledge and using an existing API that is available on the internet. In this video, we will be making a video to block conversion startup where we can upload videos and it gives us the speech in text format. For this, we will be using an existing API from RapidAPI Hub, which has a free version as well. Hey folks, my name is Asran. I help developers to run front-end technologies. You should also check out my Instagram where I post tips, tricks, code snippets, and share quick info about web technologies. Alright, let's start this. So the first thing that I need to do is to create a package, a Next.js package. So for that, I can do npx create next app, and I will name this project vidlog, and that's it for now. So let's create this package. So I do not need TypeScript. I do need ESLint, yes. Do I need the source directory? We can go with no, but let's go with yes. And not the app directory, we don't need that. And just enter this. So let's wait for this to be completed, and then we can open this. And then the next thing that we have to do, or maybe the first thing that we have to do, is to integrate Tailwind within the repository. All right, this is completed. So let me open this. So I can do code vidlog, and that will open this for me here. So let me resize this so you can see this, and this is about it. All right, and maybe let me zoom this a bit. All right, so the next thing that I have to do is to integrate Tailwind, and for that what I can do here is I have to open my terminal and then do npm install -t, which stands for save dev as a dev dependency, and then Tailwind CSS, post CSS, and auto prefixer. So let's wait for this to be installed. Okay, once this is installed, then we have to do npx Tailwind CSS init-p, which will initialize the Tailwind as well as the post CSS file. Then the next thing is we have to go to a config file and we have to add the Tailwind CSS files. So here in this case, since we are using a source file here, so what we can do is I will just copy this from the Tailwind CSS docs. So we just need to add source file. So this means that anything that is inside the source should have the styling applied to it. Then another thing is we have to import a few things. So that is something that comes inside the style and then in the globals. So I will remove all of this because we do not need any of this for now. And then paste this. And then same goes with the home module. So we also do not need any of this. Maybe we can even delete this file because we do not need the modules. So once we are done with this, the next thing is npm run dev. And since we just deleted the home module file, things will be pretty messed up. But let's see what happens here. So if I open this and here it is, it's gonna take a while. And yeah, I have to now fix all of these things because I just created home module. So I can remove these files, and then here I can also remove all of this code, all of this JSX code, and then maybe just type h1 hello world and see what happens here. So if I save this, I can see hello world, but let's see if the style is working. So bg dash not white, bg black, and text dash 6xl, and yeah, this is working. So this should be font white, so the font is visible, and the font is still not visible. This is because text white, and now it is visible. So yeah, this means that it is working. So now we have integrated Tailwind within the project. So the next thing we can do is now we can work on the project. So for that, what we have to do is first we have to add a new font. So we will go to font.google.com, and I will go with Poppins. So I have actually already have it here. So what I can do is I go to the import and I copy this and then go to global, paste it here, and then HTML and body. So I'm going to work on some default styling. I do not need the default styling. So margin and padding 0, and then box sizing border box. And then I will copy the font family and paste it here. and save this. All right, so with this, I have the new font and the default styling. So now our website currently looks something like this. Yeah, and let's start with the title. So this should be vid log convert videos to blogs. By the way, this will also be able to convert audios as well, which means .mp3 files. So we may test it as well, but the main purpose is to convert the videos to blog. By blog, I mean the textual content. So you can copy that and make a blog of it. Okay, so once we are done with this, the next thing is we come here and then we do some styling. Not styling, we do the code. So for this, first thing is I will fast forward this video and I will add some graphics in the public folder. So let me fast forward this. All right, we have all of these graphics. So this is error, blog, a logo that is the logo of the website, and then process and video. So we will be using this right now. So I have to remove this, and then I will start with a div container. And actually one more thing before we start coding, that is we have to add some more configuration. So for that I have to go to the Tailwind config, and then here in the colors section, in the extend section, I will add colors because I need some primary colors. So not many, just 2 of them. And these will be, I will just copy this from the document that I have to save some time. So this will be a light color and a primary color. And with that, I think we are ready to start working on this. So let's do this. So for this, I have to start here. So this will be class equals to bg dash right, and then let me show you the color first. So I can do hello and then go back. So now you can see this is still not visible. So let me do class text equals to 8xl. So now you can see the color. Maybe if I zoom in, so you can now see the color. It's light green. Okay, so we have this, and then inside this we will have a navigation. So for now I am going to just do vidlog, but we will fix this later. And then here we have our main section header. So this will have a class of minimum h screen. So this means that minimum height of 100 vh, and this will also have pg guide. So once we are done with this, the next thing is this should be outside. So this one is for the navigation, and then this one is for the header section. And then here what I need to do is we'll create a div container, and then class, and this class should be container mx auto. So container means that it will give some margins, it will leave some margin on the both sides horizontally, and mx auto stands for margin auto on left and right. And then instantly here I will make a div container, and in this div container there will be videos to blogs. So save this. So this is currently our website, how our website looks like. And then I'm gonna add all of the content, and then we can start styling it. So convert your videos to blogs within a few seconds. Save this, see this again. So this is how it looks right now. And then the last thing is we need a button down there. So after the p tag, we need a button that says run more, and save this. So yeah, this is our content. So let's now start this. So first thing is, let's start with the h1 tag. This should be class equals to text 8xl. So it's because it's the primary heading, and this should be font bold, and MB6, which stands for margin bottom, and text primary. So if I do this, we get this. Now that's it for the heading. For the p tag, I need to do text xl MB14 and save this, and that's it. And then for the button, I can do class equals to bg black. We want the button back with the black background, with a white text, px8 and py4. So py means vertically anything in the tailwind that has y with it. That means vertically, and anything with the x means horizontally. So px stands for padding, horizontal padding, and py stands for vertical padding. So if I, yeah, and then text 3xl bg primary, that means the background color should be primary color, and then rounded full, that stands for the border radius. So this is what we get. And with that, let me do this. Okay, so the next thing is we have this one section on this side, and then we have another section on this side. So for that, I can do here is will convert this into a flex box with justify between. So that's it. Now there is no change here, but once we add things here, it will make change. So with that, let's add another section here. So that will be div, and then within this div, we have to import images. So let's start with that. So for the images, import video from public, and public should have a video.png, and then same goes for the rest. So we have a public, we have process, and this process is process.png, and then we have, after the process we have blog, and then after the blog we have arrow. So let's also do this, change the names. So this will be blog, and then this will be arrow, and save this. We also need a logo, but we can fix that later. So after this, we can go back to this div container, and then here we can do image, and the image is already imported, so we don't need to import it again. I can even show that to you. So here it is, it was imported by default. Okay, so class should be, we can skip the class for now, and then source equals to video, and alternative text is video. And if I save this and show you, so this is the video. And let's do the same thing. Then we have an arrow, then we have a process, then we have again an arrow, and then we have a blog. So let's fix this arrow, and then process, and then arrow again. So this is what we get right now, but this is not what we want. So one thing is the images are too big, so let's change that, and the style is going to be same for all of this. So what we can do is w auto, that stands for width auto. So we don't need to change the width will be adjusted automatically based on the height, but for the height we can do age 24, and these are the images that we got. So yeah, I am happy with this. So yeah, and then let's also fix the position for this. So I will make this flex, so they are placed horizontally, and then bg white, I need a white background behind them, and then I need a width of 1.2, and then py equals to 8 and px equals to 16, and then I need a border, a nice border, and then I need a little bit border radius, and then justify between, so they have some spacing in between them. All right, this looks good, but there is a lot of space here, and this is not centered, and we want this to be centered. So for that we have to you have to go to this part, the first div, and then do items center, and that will center it. And then if you want to center it to here, we need to give it a height. So I will again do main -h -screen, and that will give it a height. Now another thing is there is a very small gap in between these two div containers. I will do a gap of maybe 10, and let's see this. So yeah, this is what we got, and this looks quite good. Let's also fix the navigation. So there isn't anything for the navigation, but just a single logo. So let's quickly add that. So here it will be image with the source equals to logo and alternative text equals to logo. But we need to add the source here as well. So this should be logo, and then this should be logo, and then it should be class name equals to and the class name should be again wauto and h16, and save this. So this looks like this, but we do not want it to be placed here in this corner. We want it to be placed at this point, so it's vertically aligned to this heading and this content. So for that I can do class name equals to container mx auto, and that works. And that is the reason I have this in the div container before this, because if I do not have this like this, now this is the white section, but if I want this light green on this, you might be thinking I can just simply apply bg light. So let's see what happens. Now if I apply on this, now this section is not covered, so that's why I see the white space here, white background here. So for that reason, to fix that, let me remove this from here. I have added another div container and wrap this nav container in the div container and give it bg light. So with this small hack, it works. And this is too close to the top, so maybe give it a bit of margin padding. So we can give it py6, and this works. So we have our first section ready. Now for the next section, what we can do is we can add it here, like after this, after the header, because this is going to be the same page. Within this, we do not have to go to the another page, so we can do this here as well, the other one. So for that, I will make a section container, and then here I will add a h2. How does it work? Save this, and let's see. So we have how does it work, and then let's first start this. So I will be again doing container and mx auto, so it aligns with this content, and then py equals to 12. So that means padding of 12 on top and bottom. So now this looks something like this. Now let's also start the h2. So h2 should be text primary and font bold, and then text 5xl. So this looks like this, and then text center to center it like this, and then some padding. So py equals to not py, pt equals to 12. That gives a bit more padding on the top, and we need a bottom padding as well. So for the bottom we can do pb24. So that's even more than 12. You can see that here as well. So this padding is more than this padding. And with that, we are done with the heading. So with that, let's move to this another section. And this section is for the cards. We are going to make cards. You can convert this into components as well, because in right now we are going to duplicate the code and we're going to use cards multiple times. But in this case, I am not going to do this, because then this might take a bit more time. And the goal of this video is not to talk about how can you create projects in Next.js specifically, but it's about how can you use APIs to make your own site startup things, etc. So with this, what we need to do here is we make a div container here, and within this div container, we make in other div container. And within this div container, we do h3 and do upload the video. And with that, I do a p tag here, and I need some dummy content. So I will go to Ipsum and just copy some content from here and then paste it here. So if I save this, my website looks something like this. Now let's fix this as well. So there should be a pause, and yeah, that is fixed. So now this looks something like this. And with that, let's now start this place, this content, upload the video. And yeah, so for this, this should be class equals to, I will convert this to, so first of all, I need a border here. So we have a nice border, and then P8. So we have some padding, and then rounded dash XG. So we have rounded corners, and then I will make this grid with 3 columns. So grid columns 3, and then my equals to 14. So this is a margin on top and bottom, and then shadow dash md. So this also gives some shadow. So now this looks something like this, and we have this whole space here. So this space is for another heading. So with that, go to this place and call dash span dash 2. So we have 3 columns total, and I want this heading or this section to occupy 2 out of those 3 columns. So if I save this, okay, so the next thing is we have in this place. So for this, we will fill this place with the heading, and that heading will come after this div. So the first div, and then this will be another div container we have here. And within this div container, we have h3, and this will be what do you do. Save this, and this looks something like this. So let's first start with styling the h3 or the heading itself. So this will be primary text with bold font, and text size should be 3XL, and of course uppercase. So what do you do? And with that, let's also start this. So flex items center and justify center, and now this is perfectly centered. So with that, we have this section complete. Now with that, let's move to this another one. So this another one should be is exactly the same as of this, but it has just a bit difference, a small tweak. So what I can do here is I can I believe this is the one. Yeah. So I can copy this and paste this again here, save this, and it looks something like this. Now the only change here that we have to do is we have to copy this. What do you do? Copy this from here and then paste it here and save this. So this looks something like this. So what do you do? And this one should be what do we do? What do we do? And I forgot to style this, upload the video. So let's also do this, and that will be, first one is get upload the video, and the second one is get the content. So for the get the content, its text should be 2XL, font bold, and margin bottom of 4. So we get something like this, and let me copy the style and then move to this h3 and then paste it here. So we have upload the video, and then we have get the content. So this section is also almost done. So then the last thing here is we need to create a button. So this button should be somewhere here in the after this section, after this div. So we can create a button that will be upload video. So upload video should have a class of bg black with a cursor pointer, and text of course white, and horizontal margin of 8 and vertical margin of 4, and then text should be 3XL. And if I show this to you, so this is how it looks. So with this upload video, and then another thing is this should be rounded full. So it looks like this, and then MX auto. So we want it to be center. This did not work, and that is because it does not have that much of that much of width. So if I open this, you can see that it is not taking the whole width. So if I just simply convert this to block, display block, that will take the whole width, and then in that case margin or left and right auto works. So now we have this button. So with that, this section is completed, this section as well as this section. Okay, so the next thing is we need to make a modal, so that once the user click on the upload video, a modal pops up, and there they can upload the video and send the request, and then there in that modal they can get the content, the block content. So for that I have to go to the source, and then here I will make components, and then within this component I will make modal.js, and let's code this. So export default function, and function should be modal, and then here I have to add all of the code. So what I am going to do here is I will start with the very basic thing. So return, and this should be, so what I want here is that once someone clicks the modal, so a modal pops up and the background is black with some opacity. So in this case this should be a div container, and then this div container should have in other div container, and that div container should be that this is the background div container. So this should be h full, which means that the full height, and bg black, and of course opacity of 0.9. That is because we still want to see the background. If I do not add this, that means that completely black, so that's not what I want. And then cursor pointer. So let me also before we code it anymore, let me import this here. So import modal and save this. So yeah, with this let's go to the bottom and add modal here. For now we need to add some states and checks to show and close the modal, but that's it for now. We will add those checks later on. So we have this, but nothing happens, and that is because we have to add some styling to this as well. So this will be minimum height should be at screen, and then I want the position to be sticky, not sticky, fixed. So again nothing happens here, and then the last thing is inset 0. So if I do this now, inset means top, bottom, left, right, and then 0 means 0. So top 0, left 0, right 0, and bottom 0. So now we have this, and by doing opacity 0.9 we can see the background, and I can scroll this, but that is totally fine. And the functionality should be that we have a modal in the center, and then if the user wants to close this, so they can click anywhere on this black screen, and then that will close it for them. So after this, what I can do is I will make another div container, and this div container is for the modal itself. So this should be class equals to with a half width, with again fixed, and bg should be primary because we want it to be with the primary background and primary color background, and then absolute, no, we do not need absolute, and then top equals to 1/2, yes, we do need absolute, and top equals to 1/2, left equals to 1/2, and if I save this, I do not see anything, so maybe I can add something here. So upload the video, or maybe just upload video, save this, and here we have the text here. So this is bg primary, and this should be class equals to text center, and text white, and text 5xl, and margin bottom of 20. So we have this right now, And I need to change the z index so it shows on the top. So if I do z10, now it works. And I do not need the fixed here, so because I'm using absolute. And then this is here at this point, so to center it I can do translate dash x dash 1/2 and then minus translate again dash y dash 1/2. And if I save this, so now this is how it looks. And one last thing is we need some margin, sorry, not margin, padding. So py should be 8 and px should be 4. Save this, and here we have it. And all right, maybe one more thing is we need some rounded borders. So with this, the next thing is we have to add the input fields, so the form. So for that, let's all right, so then it's time to make the form. So this should be form, and then we need to have a good understanding of what the API call is and how it is going to work. So the API call is going to be this one. So I am going to use the RapidAPI for this. RapidAPI is a hub for APIs. It has a lot of APIs, and just to give you a quick idea, so if I go to RapidAPI, I have a lot of APIs here that, for example, text translator, OpenAI, top weather APIs, flight APIs, movie APIs, etc. So it has a lot of things that you can use for your need. But in this case, since this project is about converting videos or audios to blog or text, so for that I have found this API, that is speech recognition API. If you want to use this, you have to purchase this. So you need to go to the pricing and purchase this. I'm using the free version. You can also do that too. It has 1,000 requests per month, which is a lot and which is enough. So with that, let's get back to the endpoints. And here is how it works. So, and keep in mind that the maximum length of the video should be 1 minute. So it should have, the only thing that goes in the request body is a file with the name sound, and this should be .mp4 or .mp3 or .wav or .wma. So let's do this. So for now, what I need to do is to add the HTML content. So the only thing we need here is a file. So let's code accordingly. So form, in the form we will do input, and this input should have a class name of maybe we can do that later. So the type should be file, and the audio should be not audio. The accept should be audio dash mp3 and video slash mp4. So now I have specified the versions. There are some more possibility, some more options for you as well. You can do that too, like WAV, OGG, and WMA, but we are not going to use that because this will get the job done and you will get an idea. So save this, and if I go back, so now I have choose file, no file chosen, and then after this I have to do input, and this should have a type of submit and value equals to submit as well. And yeah, we have this submit here. So let's now style this. Now keep in mind that this is file, so which means that the encryption and enc type should be multipart /form data. Otherwise this will not work. And this is going to be a post request, so method equals to post. And then we need, for the API call we will make a function. We can do that later. For now, let's focus on the HTML. So this should be flex and then flex column, so that this is on vertically aligned. And then if I save this, so this is how it looks. So then justify center, and then my equals to 8. So yeah, this is how it looks. Now let's start over this input, type submit. So this should be BG black with the text white and text XL. PY should be 3 and PX should be 8, and then rounded full. and cursor pointer. So if I save this, and this is how our how a submit button looks like. And then the last thing is style this of type file. So this should be MB8 border and border black and PY4 and text white. Save this. So yeah, this looks something like this. And this should not be PY, this should be just P. So yeah, this looks something like this. And that is pretty good for now. So with that, we can, so now we can choose the file and then we can submit that. But another thing is, so once we have the file submission going on, we want to have a loading screen. And then once we get the result, we want that result to be shown here as in a text area. So for now, let's add all of those things, and then we can do some conditional rendering. So the most easy thing we can start with is the waiting screen. So this is going to be a simple p tag, and we say please hold on, conversion is in progress or process conversion is in progress, yeah. And then this should have class equals to text XL and then text white, and save this. So this is going to look like this. And the way it works is that when we click the submit button, this section will be removed, and we will just have please hold on, conversion is in progress. And to make this a bit more cool, what we can do is we can add an animation here. So for that, we can go to a globals.css. Remember, we did not use any CSS. We just used TailwindCSS. So here I can do .anim opacity, and this should be animation. And for now, we do not have animation. So let's create an animation, a custom animation. So this should be opacity, and at 0% and 100%, what I want is the opacity should be 0. And then at the 50%, I want the opacity should be 1. And then let's get back here, and this should be opacity 2 second with the linear flow, and this should be infinite. So this keeps happening. And then let's go back to the modal, and here there should be anim opacity. Save this. So now this looks something like this, and this is pretty cool. So yeah, we have the fade out, fade in text, and this keeps going on. So this will be the loading screen that will appear once we have the process, we have the API call sent, and we are waiting for the response. And then once the response, we get the response. So in that case, what happens is that we will have a text field, which is just read only. So you cannot make any changes, but that will have the content of that, the video or audio. So that will be text area, and this should be read only, and with the class equals to resize equals to none, because I do not want it to be resized and that's it. So yeah, we have this, and I am typing right now, but nothing happening here because this is read only. And then another thing is, for the content, I can use states. So I can do const, and this should be text content, and then set text content and use state, and currently this should be empty. So if I now go do value equals to text content, and then save this. So yeah, nothing happens here. If I type something here in this state, so we have that here. So let's remove this and save this. And maybe I can give it a margin or padding of 2. And yeah, this should work now. So yeah, let's try this. Yeah, we have a nice padding here. All right, so that is done. Now we have to do conditional rendering, but first of all, we need to get our API call. So let's make the API. So for that, what I need is I have to install this in another package called XJS. So I will create the screen and do npm install Axios. Okay, with this, let's import Axios, and Axios should be imported from Axios. Okay, let's make an API call using Axios, but before that, one other thing that we need to do is currently this input can get the file, but it is not saving it anywhere. So for that, what I can do is I can add a new stat that will be const file with an option with the function set file equals to use stat, and initially it should be null. And then here in this input, what I need to do and what I can do is I add a function on change, and this should be set file and e dot target dot files, and then 0. So 0 is the first index. 0 index is what we need. It has all the details that we need. Okay, so once we are done with this, the next thing is we need to make an API call. So for that, I come here and then do const send API call, and this should be first of all e dot prevent default, so that I can prevent the default mechanism, and then const form data. So this should be new form data. This is because this is a multi-part, which means that I am sending an object here. I'm sending a binary data. I am sending a sound or a file or an audio or a video data. So yeah. And by the way, we can check the APIs here in this case. So I can send something, I can upload something, and then click on test, and you can do that. But since I already did this for the test, so I already know that this is working and how exactly it works. So I don't need to do that, but you can do that. And also there is an API client, a RapidAPI client that can do the exact same thing for you in the VS Code as well. So you might also want to check that as well. So yeah, with that, form data, and then form data dot append, and then here it should be sound. So because that is the name that we need, sound. And then for now I am going to do untitled.mp3 because this is one of the file that I will be testing. So for now it's untitled.mp3, but we will fix this. So to fix this, basically this should be the file name, and let's check this. And this is actually simply file dot name. We can also verify this once by doing console log file dot name and see if that works. Now let's add this function to form, and here it should be on submit, and then on submit send API call. So let's start the server again and refresh the page, and then once the page is refreshed, let's upload something. So I have this mp3 file that's a random short video from YouTube that I downloaded, and let me open inspect, and let's see. So let me go to the console, and then if I click submit, I can see the file name, so file.name. So yeah, I have that, and this is working. So yeah, this is what we want to do now, file.name. Okay, so once we are done with this, then the time is to make an API call. But there are a lot of things that we need to do first. Not a lot, some things that we can do first. So let's first do that, and then we can do this one. So first thing is, I am going to comment this for now, and then here I will do conditional rendering. So this will be text, and text should be here. So I need to make another state. This should be text and show text, and maybe I can call this response, but yeah, maybe a response would make more sense. So response, and then show response, and then use stat, and this should be false by default. So the point is, the thing is, what I want to do is, if response is false, that means that we do not have any response from the server. So in that case, I want to see this form. If there is response, then I want to see this. So let's do that. So response, and then here it will be some conditional rendering, and let me remove this from here, and then put a semicolon here, put a colon here, and then wrap this here and save this. So yeah, we have this here. Now another thing is when we have, so it looks like this, and when we have a response, then it should look like this. But another thing that we want here is we want that when we get the answer, we should also have an option if you want to upload another video. So for that, what we can do is we can simply make a button here, and for this button to work, we need to wrap this in other container. So I will use the empty brackets here, and this should be convert in other video, and then save this, and then go for class equals to bg black text white, and padding, some padding on top and bottom, and then left and right, and then rounded full. So let's see. So we have this, and maybe mt-6. Okay, we have a nice padding and a margin, and then the last thing is on click, this should show text, not text anymore. Show response equals to false. So this will false the response. All right. So yeah, now imagine we have our answer here. If I click on this, it will again take me back to this position, to this scenario. And then another thing is we skipped is if I click somewhere here, so this modal should be closed. So let's do that, and that is something we can do in index. So here I have to make a new function, not a new function, a new stat. So this should be import use stat, and then go all the way here, and here I should do modal, and maybe modal state, and show modal equals to use stat false. And then the next thing is we have to scroll down to this part, and then simply what we can do here is if it is show modal, and then this modal. So yeah, and then another thing here is on this button, what we need is once this button is clicked, I want that set modal. What was the show modal? So this should be set modal state, and this should be set modal state to true. So if I save this, and if I go back, show modal is not defined, so that is modal state, not show modal. So if I paste this here, so this should work now, and yeah, this works. If I click on this, this works, but now I also want to close this. So for that, what I can do is I copy this, and I pass this as a prop to this, and then go to the modal.js, and then here in the modal, in the top I can destructure it using this, and then set modal state. So copy this, and then here on this, so this is this part. So I can simply do on click, and then on click it should be set modal false. Save this, so, and let's see. Yes, it works. So yeah, this works. You can also add cross icon here, and based on that, if someone click that, you can close it, but this also works. So yeah, I have this setup, and then in other thing is I want this to work as well. So what we can do here is I will add another variable here, another state here, and that will be loading, and is loading. So initially this is going to be false, and yeah. So then what I can do is I uncomment this, and I copy this. Now here's the thing. So if we have the response, then we should be able to see this thing, this section, text area with the answer, with the content. If we do not have a response, we should be able to see this. Now the third condition is if we have the loading on, if we have the loading true, then we should be able to see this. Otherwise, if it is false, then we should go for these options. So for that, we need to use again ternary operator. So here, what I can do is loading. If loading is the case, that means show this. Otherwise, I can then just copy this and remove this, and then here save it. So now what's happening here, if loading is true, then this should be shown. If it's not, then check for response. If response is true, then go for this, and if that's not, then go for this JSX. All right, save this, and here we have this. So if I refresh the page and then you click on upload video, so we see this, and this should be false by default. The response should be false by default. So yeah, with that, now the last thing is to make an API call here. So this should be form data, and then I need to remove this. Then the next thing here is Axios dot post, and here, so I can set up the Axios methods in our .axios file, in an Axios file, but I do not need to do that right now because this is just one single request. So I can just simply directly add all of that data here. So I go to the speech recognition and I copy this. So this is the path that I need, and then I paste it here, and then another thing should be the data. So the data is form data, and I only need this sound in this one in the body. So that is the form data, and then we have headers. So in the header section, I will have xrapid, if I can type, RapidAPI -key, and this should be this. So I can just copy both of this from here, from the headers, rather than typing this one by one. So paste this here, and then we have it. So we are done with this. Then what we can do is .then, and then we can do response. We can check for response, and then we can catch and any error if we have. So for the errors, we can simply do console.log error. And then here console.log response. So here what I have to do is I want that whenever this API call is sent, then we should see this message. Please hold on, conversion is in progress. So for that, this under this send API call, I will do instantly is loading equals to true. So this means that the loading is true, then this will be shown. And then once that is done, then in the response, once we get the response, we can do is loading equals to false, and as well as here as well. So is loading equals to false. So this means that if whatever the result is, if it is a success or if it is a failure, whatever status code we get, the loading should be false. So we have is loading false. So that is one thing. And then another thing is, once this is false, then we have to decide what to be shown, this or this. So this is the response, and the response has show response. So what we want is we want to see this text area. So once the loading is false, we want to do show response, and this should be true. So that is another thing. So now we have the loading disappeared, we have this form disappeared, and we have the text area. That is exactly what we want. And then the last thing is we have the text area, but this might be empty for now. There is no text for. So what I can do is I can change the text content. This set, I can use the set text content. So this should be set text content. I can do this first, and then this should be response.data.text. And I'm doing this because I already tested this, and I know where the exact text exists. So it's under the response.data.text. There are a lot of other variables as well, a lot of other objects, properties, but I do not need to use that. So I will simply skip that. and I can also show you what we get in the response raw data. So if I save this, and now I think we are all set up for this. And yeah, just let me go through this one more time and make sure to, yeah, so this should work. And let's try this. So go here, refresh the page, and then upload a video. So I'm going to go with a mp3 file, and then I will also go with the mp4 file. So let's start with the mp3 file. So this is again a random mp3 that I downloaded from YouTube. So I submit this. So you can see, please hold on, conversion is in progress. And then I open my inspect as well. And here I should be able to see the data once once you have it. So let's wait for this. All right, so we have this. Now, one thing to keep in mind is, because different people have different accent, so possibly that sometimes it may give you a wrong word for what was pronounced, and that is something that can happen. So, and the quick disclaimer is that this model will not give you 100% accurate result, but it gives you most of the content, and you can just do small tweaks, and that will help you. So yeah, most of this part is very good. So yeah, that is the audio conversion. Let me also give you a quick example of video conversion. I'm gonna try it on Westboss video that I also downloaded for this test. And here you can see this whenever I send a request. So it has this request that is pending, because it does the conversion in the back in before it gives us the result. So the conversion is currently going on, and that's why we see this nice message, please hold on, conversion is in progress. And yeah, we have this. So let's see this here. Now, because of the pronunciation, it does a small changes, and some of the words does not make sense, but most of this is what was spoken in the video. So yeah, it you have to be mindful of that pronunciation. So with that, let's see what we have in the API call. So once we send the data, we get the response. So the response looks like this, and where we have this has a request which has a lot of things that we do not need, but we have the data, and within the data we have text, and this is the text that we are showing on the here in this part. So if I now close this and then click on upload video, so yeah, that is I believe it. So we have just made our startup in maybe within 2 hours or within 90 minutes, and that is how you can use APIs from RapidAPI. And this is one of the very good example and a use case, that speech recognition API, so you can make something of your own. So that is it for this video.